Let's talk Alabama recruiting. The Tide currently have the #2 class in America, and as it stands, 48 hours from the early signing period, there could be more coming. So I got Alabama insider Tim Watts on this video. We're going to break it down for you. Everything you need to know about Alabama recruiting, we're going to do it in this video. All right, before we get going, Alabama fans, do me a favor real quick. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. All right, let's bring in Tim Watts, Bama Online. Tim, let's start with a couple guys that have been committed to Alabama for a while, but there's rumors swirling. First of all, five-star offensive tackle Ty Haywood. E.J. Holland had an interview with him on Friday, broke some news saying Ty Haywood intends to delay his decision through the early signing period. What does that mean for his recruitment to Alabama?
Yeah, I would think he's not going to end up in this class when all is said and done. I mean, I think a lot of this went in early, things changed late. He's obviously going to have a lot of suitors when he goes to that late period. I mean, obviously a big upside guy. Michigan's obviously one of them that's went in pretty heavy with the NIL to get involved. But he couldn't get it. I think he wanted to visit. Didn't work out. His team was still playing. But once he decided to go in that late period, I think Bama's just going to probably focus elsewhere, maybe in the portal. I think the focus there is just keeping the 4 offensive linemen they've got. And they understand the Haywood's decisions to look around and take opportunities with other schools.
All right, let's move on to another 5-star offensive lineman. That's Michael Carroll. And for the last month or so, rumors have been swirling around Michael Carroll in Colorado. He made a visit out to Boulder. But, as we sit 2 days from National Signing Day, how does things stand with Carroll in Alabama?
Yeah, I think a lot of the swirling was just the rumors, loose lips running. I think he pretty much said he wanted to visit Colorado. Hadn't had a chance to visit anybody all year, was very upfront about it. He went to Colorado on Sunday night. We heard they were in pretty good shape. By Tuesday, everything was back to normal. Alabama felt good. We feel going in tomorrow that Alabama's in good shape, which they've been the whole time. They've had a great relationship. He was in for the Iron Bowl with his parents. So I think everything's good there. I mean, he said he wanted to take a visit if he could. Took a visit to Colorado. Obviously, it drew a lot of talk. Obviously, Deion Sanders there. That draws a lot of discussions. So, but I think Alabama's fine with Michael.
Okay, so Bama fans, maybe not going to sign Ty Haywood, but 5-star offensive lineman Michael Carroll sounds like he's going to end up in that class, and there could be more coming. Let's start with a couple flip targets right here. Wide receiver Derek Meadows, when he chose LSU, Alabama was right there. Can they circle back on this recruitment and flip him from LSU?
Yeah, they're involved right now. I mean, Alabama, the whole time they wanted to take 2 wide receivers. They had Lotzir Brooks, who they absolutely love, set all the New Jersey receiving records. And then they had Caleb Cunningham. So it really came down, they were looking at Derek Meadows, Caleb Cunningham, Lockett, who ended up committing to Texas. They wanted 2, they got Caleb. So they kind of were shutting it down at that point. Caleb obviously decided to flip, ended up at Ole Miss. Alabama had that spot open. So they circled back and they've had discussions. Very tight-lipped recruitment. He doesn't say a whole lot. I'm told he's a very respectful, mature kid, but not a lot's being said. But we feel like Alabama's did the right things to stay in the race here, and it's not going to surprise us if he does commit to Alabama on Wednesday. But we don't feel he's told anybody so far where he is going.
All right. Now, we know Alabama wants a couple more players in their secondary, so why not go to Auburn's commit list and flip a couple? Safety Anquan Fagans and cornerback Donovan Starr. Those are guys that sound like they could flip to Alabama on signing day. What are you hearing?
I think Starr is the one we're most interested in. He decided to make a surprise visit after his playoff game this weekend, came in, brought some people close to him, definitely looking. I mean, everything we're being told is it's not going to be Auburn. Auburn is out. I know Jeffrey Lee on the Auburn site confirmed that after our report. So there's been multiple confirmations that he won't end up at Auburn. But Vanderbilt's in there. So Bama's fighting Vanderbilt. He's from that area. He's from Brentwood. You're familiar with that, where the On3 offices have been based.
Sure.
So close to Nashville. So they're fighting it. Clark Lee's done a good job, obviously, this year selling his program. So they're fighting right now. I think Alabama's in a good spot. Not a great spot as far as it's done. But I do think they put themselves in the position. I mean, the first thing to do was to get him away from the school he was committed to, and now you got to fight off the home team. But they're definitely in the mix for that.
All right. So I know the dust hasn't settled on this class, but what do you think of Kalen DeBoer's first full cycle in charge of Alabama recruiting?
I mean, I think if you just take a blank look and I ask my Alabama friends, if you go back 5 years ago and what were you expecting the year after Nick Saban retired, I mean, were you expecting 9-3, possibly in the playoff discussion? Were you expecting to have the number 2 recruiting class 48 hours away from National Signing Day? I wasn't. So, I mean, there's been ups and downs on the football field and off the football field, but I'm a final scoreboard kind of guy. And I'm looking at a 9-3 season right now, and I know it could have been better, but it also could have been worse. And I'm looking at a recruiting class and how they finish that'll be judged after Wednesday or Friday when it's all said and done. And I think they've held their own, because what was the narrative when they got here? Could they recruit?
Right.
No matter if they finish first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, we know they can recruit.
Yeah, there was a ton of question marks around whether or not this staff was built with the right recruiters. And like you said, 2 days from signing day, they're sitting at number 2. We're looking at a guaranteed top 5 finish. Could be as high as number 1. Bama fans, talk to Tim Watts and I. Let us know. Comment section below. How are you feeling about Kalen DeBoer in his first year? What do you like about this class? Who do you think the Tide add on signing day? Let us know. Comment section below.